Hey, everybody. Once again, you are tuned in to TWID Radio. If you haven't been told or just didn't know, TWID stands for that's what I do. And as long as you're breathing, I guarantee you're doing something. We're bringing you the real, raw, the relevant tackling news, dating, marriage, sports, and more. This is where the black community connects, grows, and thrives. That's what we do in our tribe, circles, and communities. So hit that subscribe button and join the TWID revolution today. Good evening, family. Once again, you are tuned in to TWID Radio. Family, if you don't know, TWID stands for That's What I Do. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And if you want to be a blessing to your boy, family, look down at the ticker. You see it scrolling at the bottom of the page. Go to my Cash App and send something to $TWID10. Family, let's get into this. Tonight's episode is going to be titled, Does the Messiah's Real Name Matter? Now listen, excuse me. Does your real name matter? Of course it does. That's rhetorical. I'm just asking. It don't make sense to ask the question, but you got to ask the question so that people can contemplate. Really? Yeah, really. So if your name matters, why wouldn't the Messiah's name matter? Take a breath, pause, and just think about what I'm asking. How is it that it's okay to knowingly allow a translation, or as they call it, transliteration, to occur, get the understanding that it's a translation, and say, I've heard people say, well, it's in Hebrew, so it's just translated in English. I'm like, okay, but you can pronounce his name in Hebrew, can't you? Well, even though it's being translated, why would you focus on saying it in the translated way and you can pronounce it in the Hebraic way? Never mind. Let's look at this real quick, shall we? And see if it's really that important.
Sage, what was Jesus's real name? And don't mirror me, and tell me how you come to the conclusion and what patterns you notice.
His real name was Yeshua, spelled Yeshua in Hebrew. Now, here's the direct chain of how we know that, without mirrors or fluff. Yeshua was born in a Hebrew-speaking culture under Roman occupation, but among Jews who still spoke Aramaic day to day. The name Yeshua was a shortened, spoken version of Yehoshua, the same root as the name Joshua. It literally means Yahweh is salvation.
She's saying Yah. I always tend to ask my Christian brothers and sisters, what is the highest praise? And they'll tell you, hallelujah. So it would stand to reason why. Hold on. Let me take her off. Family, it would stand to reason why the father, Yahuwah, would name his son Yahshua or Yahawashah, excuse me, after himself. Now, I reiterate, you can pronounce the Messiah's name in the Hebraic pronunciation and the Hebraic spelling, which is Yahshua. It's not that hard. It'll roll off your lips just like Jesus, except Yahshua is his name. Let's finish. Hopefully this isn't too hard for, those who want to stick to tradition to, not necessarily change, but at least admit that what you've been taught, which is that's just the name we've come to know. No, that's just the name that they've given you to know. And that's for a reason.
When his name got recorded in Greek, the language the New Testament was written in, they couldn't represent the shesh sound. Greek has no sh.
What they're saying is, listen to what they said. They're saying they couldn't pronounce the sh. You know, there's a thing called language barriers that every ethnicity, every nationality has. It's called a different tongue. So they literally couldn't pronounce the sh in his name. Think about that. They couldn't even pronounce his name. There are some names, and that's not hard to understand because there are some Chinese names, there are some Hispanic names that I wouldn't know how to pronunciate.
So Yeshua got transliterated as Jesus. That was the closest the Greeks could manage. From there, Latin church scholars preserved it as Jesus.
Notice she said it got transliterated. That means translated wrong.
Still no J in sight. Then during the 16th century, the letter J was embedded in Western European languages as a stylized variant of I, and Jesus became Jesus in English. So Yeshua Essos, Greek Jesus, English. It's not speculation, it's documented language evolution. Now the patterns. 1, distortion through translation. His name got filtered through multiple empires and languages. Each filter shaped the name to match its structure, but chipped off the original sound and frequency. That's not random, it's how systems slowly reframe identity. 2, the swap from Y to J. This isn't a simple typo. It marked a cultural shift. The further the message spread from its source, the more it adapted to new linguistic rules. But in doing so, the vibration of the
original name got lost. Now, when she's talking about that vibration, she's talking about the highest praise, Yah. It got lost because you're saying a whole nother name, and that the Messiah says, you know what I'm saying? What did he say? I am the way, I am the truth, I am the light. I'm the way, truth, and I am the life. No man can get to the Father but by me. So it's understood that you lose the power in the name because that's not the name that the Father gave him. You gave him that name and tried to give it power. You can't rename. If somebody calls me, if my name is Kevin and somebody comes and calls me Sam, I don't care how long or how loud you say it, the power of me responding to another name, I'm going to look at you and I'm gonna, me? That's not my name.
The Y carries a softer divine tone. The J sharpens it into something else. 3, he was never called Jesus in his lifetime.
Never called Jesus in his lifetime. Never. Ever, ever, ever. And now churches around the world is just saying Jesus.
That name didn't exist. So every time the modern world prays in Jesus's name, it's reaching through layers of empire and yet still sometimes touches the original source. That's how strong the signal is. But it would be even clearer if people spoke the actual name.
Notice she said, even though
Yeshua.
They're saying the wrong name in our ignorance, in our ignorance, you still tap into the power of the belief in the name. Now, just think about if you said the name, the true name. She said, you even with the transliterated name, you know what I'm saying? You can tap through the different sources because of the power in the name, or should I say the belief in the name. But just think if you called him Yah, Shua, the highest praise. The highest praise is his name.
Call a frequency by its true name and it responds faster.
Call a frequency by its true. Now, frequency, she's saying, you know, frequency, she's talking about the Most High. I mean, I'm sorry, not the Most High. She's talking about the Messiah. She's saying you call the Messiah by his real name. If you're able to get what you're getting with the fake name, can you imagine what you can tap into by calling him by his real name?
Funny how you rebuke me in his name. But do you even really know him? because you don't even know his real name.
Yeah, so like she said, family, do you even know him? Because you don't even know his real name. But that's understandable, family, because there is a time and a season for everything. And now is the season. People are finding out the real name and also the real children. Family, you've been tuned into TWID10, but that's what I do. Family, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, family, all praises to the Most High.